say about this Taurus full moon? Well, the first thing obviously is that it's a new moon, which means we want to focus on things that are new. And when we have new moons, everything goes dark during that new moon. And in that darkness is like the void. And from the void, we can create new things. So you can decide what you want to create with this new moon in Taurus. And of course, I'm going to talk about what Taurus represents in your life. Now, for each person, you're going to have a different sign and house that are activated. So it will also affect that area of your life. But everyone is going to have Taurus issues coming up during this time. Mostly with new moons, we have an opportunity to create something new. We have an opportunity to initiate, to plant a seed. So we need to know what our intentions are, okay? So let's talk now about what Taurus represents. Taurus is an earth sign, and it rules the second house. And the second house is all about your personal finances, your personal resources, how you access resources, your channel to abundance. It's the creation of wealth and drawing wealth into your life, okay? And this can happen in all different forms. So with a new moon, you might want to initiate something that brings more wealth into your life. For example, maybe you want to apply for a job, or maybe you want to ask for a raise. Maybe you want to plant a garden. You know, there's so many different things you can do to increase your wealth. But when it comes to Taurus, it needs to be something that you love, something you're passionate about, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus rules all things that we love and that we're passionate about. And Taurus is also connected to beauty and luxury, again, because these are elements of Venus. So while there are other earth signs like Virgo and Capricorn, Taurus they're all three earth signs, but Taurus is very different from Virgo and Capricorn because of the fact that Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so all of these elements and feelings of love, passion, desire, beauty, luxury, what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, pleasure, these are the very earthy, sensual, and just sensory oriented earthy things, you know, the things that do actually make you feel good, like physically in your body. And so basically anything that you can think of that you want to bring into your life in that realm is really good to focus on with this new moon in Taurus, okay? So again, you want to think about what your intentions are, and then you want to begin to set those intentions in motion at the time of the new moon. The new moon is exact on the hour. So that's 12 p.m. noon on the Pacific Coast, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, if you're not in any of those time zones, you can just calculate for your own time zone. So when the new moon is exact, then from that point forward, for 2 weeks until we reach the full moon, the moon is waxing, which means the light is growing, it's increasing. And that's why it's so good to plant these seeds of intention and take action at the time of the new moon. And really, from my perspective, you can do this anytime during that 2 weeks. In fact, I think this is one of the best new moons that we're going to have for a while, because The Gemini new moon is a little bit problematic because it's an eclipse, and a lot of times eclipses are things happening to you. So normal new moons and full moons, we can often make things happen, but with eclipses, a lot of times things are like karmic, so they're kind of destined, they're kind of fated, so you kind of have to go with the flow. The energy is so intense that a lot of times the decisions you make may not always be able to take effect because of the fact that something else is going on that's karmic or destined or fated, that's using up all the energy, so to speak. And so it's not that you can't do things or set intentions on eclipses. It's just that it's like if you were going to have a wedding. I always use this analogy with astrology. You want to choose the best day possible. That's why there are so many June brides, is because June is such a perfect time for having a wedding because the weather is so beautiful. And, that's why you do it at that time. You do it because the weather is perfect, and we're talking about the cosmic weather. So you always want to take actions when the weather is best, the cosmic weather. So trying to set things in motion during an eclipse is sort of like trying to do it during a tornado. It's not that you can't do things. There's nothing in astrology that ever says you can't do what you want to do. It's just that the energy of eclipses is so powerful and so intense that a lot of times it will sort of wipe out everything else that you were planning to do. So, so I hope that makes sense. Again, it's not that you can't do things during eclipses. It's just that the energy is so intense that sometimes just sucks up all the room and all the air in the room, so to speak. So that new moon, Gemini new moon, is not going to be quite as good for setting intentions, not just because it's an eclipse, but also because Mercury is retrograde. And I think that's actually even more important than the fact that it's an eclipse, because you really, really cannot initiate new things during Mercury retrograde. It just simply will not work out the way you hope. So that new moon's not going to be as good. And then the Cancer new moon will be opposite Pluto, and that's not the best of astrological weather, because Pluto is also karmic, and when it's opposite, that means usually there's going to be some kind of conflict, and the Pluto conflict is usually has to do with issues around relationships, power trips, setting boundaries, because there are always power dynamics during that time. So we won't get a really good new moon until the Leo new moon. So as you can see, you really need to take advantage of this new moon and make things happen. So I hope that you will decide to do that, and I will be back with other alignments between now and the full moon eclipse on May 26th. See you soon. I look forward to seeing you again soon.